President Cyril Ramaphosa has today awarded a number of South African citizens who have excelled in the field of arts, culture, literature, music, journalism and sport. We also saw the Orders of Companions of OR Tambo also being bestowed at the presidential guest house in Pretoria. Perhaps to take this discussion further, we're joined via Zoom by Cultural Practitioner Dr. Sipho Sithole to weigh in on the Orders of Ikamanga that government has bestowed today. Prof, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on the SABC.
Thanks, Lizzie. I have not attained my professorship yet.
Okay, well, perhaps this is a glimpse into the future, but thank you for your time. Let's unpack what this means to be ordered with the Order of Ikamanga as well as the Order of Companions, perhaps the difference for citizens and the diaspora alike.
Yes, the Order of Companions of OR Tambo is bestowed on foreign nationals who have made a contribution in changing the lives or betterment of South Africans. But the rest of the other orders are for South Africans.
So, Prof, in terms of sorry, you see, again, I called you Prof, and this is obviously not your title. I'm so sorry, Sipho, for that. We're looking at the significance of what occurred today. We're looking at the departments like the Department of Arts and Culture, where there have been complaints that the department was neglected by government. In lieu of the changes that we've seen recently, do you think that the new minister is going to turn the tide, perhaps give more industry to the arts and culture and sport fraternity at large?
Listen, you are hijacking me now. I wasn't asked to speak about that. I was asked to speak about what has happened today. Maybe we can get back to that later. But let me just talk about the significance of today with regard to the orders that the president bestowed. I think there's about 5 or 6 national orders. One is Order of Mendi, which is for bravery, people who have put their lives at risk, either in the fighting for the struggle or any others. The other is the Order of Baobab, which is exceptional. So the Order of Luthuli is the Order of Baobab is exceptional achievements. Luthuli are those people who have fought in the struggle or to liberate this country. And then Mendi is really about bravery, whether it's sea rescue or whatever you've done to rescue people and other bravery issues. And then we've got the Order of Ikamanga, which is really accorded to people in the sport, arts and culture fraternity. And today, particularly for me, was of great interest because I had made a submission for Solomon Linda, who died in 1962, having composed a seminal song, Mbube, which was used en masse all over the country and refashioned and recovered. And as we knew, he got less than 10 shillings for that song. It was bought lock, stock and barrel, so he had no ownership to it after that until the country then took this matter legally and all the rights returned back to him. But I had made a submission to the president to remember and honor this native son for his pioneering role in what has become one of the most admired genres in this country, which is Iskatamia, which has been popularized by Ladysmith Black Mambas with 5 Grammy Awards. But they came way after Solomon Linda. Solomon Linda released that song in 1939 and even fashioned Iskatamia. He's the one that introduced the 2-tone shoes and the suits and all of that dress sense in Iskatamia. So it was appropriate that at the 60th anniversary of his death that we requested that the president remembers and bestows him. So when we had about 2 Fridays ago when I got a call, I had even forgotten that the president was ever going to do these orders. So it was very important. But what was also important today was in the same breath to see icons like Peter Tosh also getting the companions of OR Tambo and Tracy Chapman. They are not the first ones. I mean, we just lost Harry Belafonte a few days ago. He got the same. These are people who use the music to conscientize the world about the plight of South Africans. So it was a very important day today. Now I can get back to your question if you can rephrase it again, Lucy.
Sipho, before we get back to broadening the conversation, I just want to also look at, those individuals who were celebrated, who are still practicing, the likes of Desiree Ellis. We also saw Sia Kolisi. They're both also very young compared to some of the other recipients. What's been observed on that front?
Yeah, it's always interesting that people in their short, time that they make such an impact to the point that wants to recognize them now. I'm indifferent to that because I think legends are measured by the test of time. But it is true that Desiree Ellis and Sia Kolisi have really been a revelation to this country, and it shows that when all Africans are given a chance, regardless of their race, color, or creed, to lead, they will prove themselves that they did that because they deserved that, they had the capacity and the ability to do that. It also then means that as a South African, we should never doubt any race or ethnic group about their competencies, because they have proven to us that they've made such an impact in sport, in rugby, and in soccer, and all of that. And it's great. Remember that these nominations are made by South Africans, so it's not the department or government or the president that does that. Ordinary South Africans make these nominations, and then a committee sits and weighs that against all other nominations. I was just looking at the list of just silver. It's in the 100 or 100. But gold is a very small number, because to achieve a gold, to be bestowed with a gold order, you really must have done exceptionally well. You see the Huma Sigelas have gotten that, Solomon Linda got it today. But there are other amazing South Africans who never got the gold, they got silver or bronze. And that's just how it works. And it also shows that there is no age limit with regard to who gets this order.
Absolutely. Let me rephrase my last question, going back to what I alluded to earlier on. I think just on the back of what transpired today with the various orders, it is refreshing to see that the legacy of our history is not limited to or reduced to museums or heritage concepts alone. It seems to be very personified. These people, some of them are still living and breathing. And I want to look at how, cultural concepts at large, as we look at nation building, social cohesion, etc., how cultural concepts can be used to help grow our economy further, and how we can learn from our own concepts, how we can make them less Eurocentric as well. How would you weigh in on that?
Well, the department has got a program called Mzansi Golden Economy. And by deliberately choosing this sector as a golden economy actually shows that there is gold within this. It might not be in most cases tangible, but there is so much work that is done across all the cultural domains. We know for a fact that the cultural industries in this country contribute 74.3 billion rands to GDP and employs over 1 million people, about 7.03% of total employment, and it is growing at the equal or faster rate than as mining and agriculture. So it is not a sector that should just be reduced to some entertainment, people dancing on stage, but whether it's literature, whether it's just a monument that remembers an event in our lifetime, that already it makes a great impact. And unfortunately, this department, Liesl, has got a huge responsibility, which in most cases is not appreciated or even that is also misunderstood, because some people think that the department will change their lives. But it is a creative sector. And because it's a creative sector by nature, it is very competitive. Even the most talented might not even make it, because it's just in that pecking order. Audiences choose who to like and who not to like, who to appreciate. They choose which book to read, whether it's Ken Temba's book or it's my book, which is coming next week, by the way, about the Wamaemai. They choose, and you can't then put the blame on the department. But what is also very crucial about this department is that it is not funded at the level that it should be funded. And to have all the cultural domains, about 7, excluding sport, and everyone wants to get funding for their ideas, you are not going to meet everyone's aspirations. And because it is a creative and artistic temperament by nature, people take their frustration to the department. But I'm saying to you now that we should take our frustration to National Treasury, to take this industry serious and to put money. I'll use an example, for instance, Lizel. The National Arts Council that I sit on the board of.
Yes,
we put an advert, a call for funding for across all the 7 art disciplines that we have. We get about 4,000 applications valued at 5.3 billion rands, but we have 282 million, which is that the presidential stimulus package. And the department itself does not even have 5.3 billion rands of budget, just the department. And look at this one agency amongst all the department has about 28 agencies. Whether it's National Film and Video Foundation, all of them, there's not enough money for this industry. And that's why I say that even in my article in the Sunday Times, there is no minister that will become a hero of this industry as long as the funding is at this level.
Let's see how we can continue this conversation. I'll have to leave it there for now, but thank you for your time here on the SABC. Cultural Practitioner, Dr. Sipho Sithole, weighing in on the orders of Ikamanga that government bestowed today. And various individuals flying the flag high for South Africa at large.